See, in simple words, you can understand both the laws like this. To become pregnant or to have a child, you require three things: uterus, oocyte, and sperm. Out of these three, at least one should be of the couple.
Can the patient bring their own donor or can they see a donor? So anonymity, that is again another very commonly asked question.
Right. This is a very nice question. See, why we were so strict about anonymity before the law? Because in India, there was no law before 2021. Now, if somebody can prove that I am inheriting genes of this particular person or this man or this woman, he automatically becomes the father or mother of that particular child, or that child becomes the child of that particular gentleman or that woman, and he inherits the property. Once you become somebody's child, you inherit the property. So it all boils down to a succession act. Now, when the law came, law has put a limit to it. Law says that once the gametes are given for donation, the donor will have no rights on the child and child will have no right on the father or mother who has donated the gametes. So in that case, there is a clear-cut boundary now. So even if you know that who has donated, it doesn't make any difference. Previously, when this clause was not there, the only way to hide it was anonymity.
Right.
Because if somebody becomes a very rich man like Ambani and Adani in his future after donating, the child whomsoever he has donated, they all will ask for the share in property. It's a big deal.
Right.
So that is why anonymity was very much necessary at that point in time in absence of the law. At that time also, there was Adoption Act. And in Adoption Act, there is a clear mention that once the child is given for adoption, the child will have no right with the parents who have given for adoption, and child will have all the rights of the adopting parent. So they were knowing each other and they were giving an adoption. There was no anonymity required. Similar situation is now. By giving gametes in donation, it is like adoption. In adoption, you are giving ready-made child. Here you are giving just a raw material for the child. Ultimately, it is same thing.
Right. So that is the reason why anonymity is allowed now, because now the paperwork which is safeguarding rights of the child,
yes,
and the paperwork which is
donors.
of the donor is very clear, and there is a lot of safety net now which is provided, which is sort of allowing anonymity, as in the law.
Not to have anonymity. There
Yes,
is no
not
anonymity.
to have anonymity.
And also, now anonymity is at the discretion of the donor. If suppose donor says that I don't want to disclose my name, that has to be respected.
Right.
It is like when you give donation in temple, you can put your board to be put on the temple with your name, or you can say I want to give it anonymously. Don't put my name. I just want to donate. Right. So it is at the donor's discretion whether they want to remain anonymous or whether they want to declare. We have to respect their feelings.
Absolutely. And what about a sperm donor, a semen donor?
Same. For donor, the thing remains same. For oocyte donor, there is form number 13, which says that donor will have no ties with the child which will be produced through her gametes.
Right.
Similarly, there is form number 15, which says for the man that even if the child is produced through that particular gamete of that man, the child will have no right on the father, and the person will have no right on the child.
Right.
So it is very clearly mentioned in all these forms.
Right. So both the male and the female donor, the take home is that they go to the bank registers them, and this again has to be a certified ART bank. Like a level 1, level 2 clinic,
Yes.
this also
They
has its
also have a
certification.
certificate. Yes.
Right, so they go to the bank, they're registered there, their details, examination, tests, everything happens there. The semen from the male donor is frozen there, and then it is provided to the clinic,
As per the
again
requirement.
based on requirement, and all the paperwork is managed by the ART
And
bank.
that process done by the bank is called recruitment.
Right.
So bank is recruiting the
donors,
and this entire recruitment is responsibility of the ART bank.
right. And as you beautifully mentioned, that the female donor who is in the eligible, fits into the eligibility criteria, they go to the ART bank, and they are again, looked into their health, their registration, and the donor is provided to the
ART
hospital
clinic.
level clinic,
And where the
yes,
pickup will happen.
where they pick up the eggs.
While
Excellent.
for semen, it is directly given at the ART bank and only semen will come. Semen donor need not come
Right.
to the ART clinic, and they can't come rather.
Exactly. What about surrogacy? What is this commercial and altruistic surrogacy? What is allowed in our country? And about the stringent process which is followed in our country for the surrogacy process.
See, surrogacy, as we know, surrogacy means to let the uterus be used for some couple. Now, for surrogacy, they have put the same clause as in the ART Act. They have said that it can't be a commercial surrogacy, because there was a time before the law, many foreigners used to come here and they used to get these services done, and the government has seen that many poor girls, they were exploited. Many people have made a lot of money by making somebody surrogate, paying them pittance, and then they are earning a lot. So you cannot use any human body, you cannot trade in any human organ. These are all internationally considered facts, and it is against the human rights as well. So you can get some labor done, but you can't get something out of their organs. You can't trade the organs, you can't utilize the organs unethically. So to put end to it, there was a Surrogacy Act which came into existence in again 2021. They have said that commercial surrogacy is not allowed. That means if you do commercial surrogacy, it is like illegitimate trade, and the punishment is 10 years of imprisonment. So, and what is commercial? When you pay under any heading, it becomes commercial. So you say that I am not paying you for surrogacy, but I will gift you a gold chain. That is a payment in kind. So you pay in cash, you pay in kind, you pay to their relatives, you pay through some other mode, you give them gifts. Anything you do, anything, that is commercial surrogacy, and that is banned. That you can't do. It should be voluntary, it should be altruistic. And for surrogate also, it should be only once in lifetime.
Who can be a surrogate? What is the eligibility for surrogacy?
So surrogate, they have given the age of the surrogate between 25 to 35 years of age. Only once in lifetime. She should be ever married, and she should have one child of her own.
Right. Can a single widowed woman be a surrogate? Or a
ever
divorced
married
woman?
Ever married means she should be married once in lifetime.
Right.
And she should have her own child.
Right.
Then she can become, if she qualifies to be within 25 to 35 years of age.
Okay. And what is the process for surrogacy for a commissioning couple? That is, for a couple who want to, take surrogacy as a treatment.
So they've taken surrogacy very seriously, because the entire ART Act and everything started with the surrogacy.
Exactly.
In fact, the law to come first was Surrogacy Act. They want, because people were taking India as a surrogacy hub, and all the foreign nationals used to come here and making their wishes fulfill, even same-sex couple, and so many people used to come here and getting their wish fulfilled. Even the celebrities you talk, they also conceived through surrogates, right? So they have said that for surrogacy, there will be requirement of certain licenses from the government first. So clinic doesn't come into picture. First, they have to approach the government authorities. That is called appropriate authority for ART and surrogacy. That appropriate authority will give them certain certificates. The first certificate will be indication certificates. So even though the treating doctor has declared them eligible for surrogacy, or they have declared that doctor has declared that they require surrogacy, again that indication will be evaluated by a committee of minimum 3 doctors, and appropriate authority will give, after taking their opinion, an indication certificate to the couple. So it will be through the government doctors, right? So even if you write that this couple requires surrogacy, if they feel that they are not fit couple, they will not get indication certificate. So first catch is here, whether there is indication or not.
Right.
Because many celebrities have used surrogates just because they don't want to become pregnant.
Right.
Now that is not the indication. So there has to be indication certificate. After that, the appropriate authority will give eligibility certificate. As I told you, the couple should have a criteria. For the criteria for ART are different. For criteria for to become eligible for surrogacy are different. Here the age of the man will be between 23 to 55, and for female it is for men it is 26 to 55, and for female it is 23 to 50 years.
Right.
They both should be married. So only married couple will get this benefit, and this should be their age limit. For female 23 to 50, for male 26 to 55.
Right.
And they should not have any living children, or the child should have some deformity which the committee will consider it as eligible for the surrogacy.
Right.
So and so they should be childless. You can't go for surrogacy for second child.
Exactly.
So that is the eligibility criteria, and they should be Indian or OCI, no foreigners.
Okay.
So that is eligibility for the couple. That certificate also the appropriate authority will give. Then comes eligibility for the surrogate. And I already told you she should be between 25 to 35, once in lifetime, ever married, having children.
Right.
So eligibility will come for the surrogate. Then comes parental order. Now what is parental order? Couple will, along with the surrogate, after all this certificate, they have to go to court. Now, as per Birth and Death Registration Act, the one who delivers a child becomes the mother. Here the surrogate is going to become mother. So to inform the birth registering authority that register this birth on name of this couple and not this lady who has given birth, the court will give order before she conceives. That is called parental order. Exactly. So couple will have to go to the court through the lawyer. Lawyer will put up a case. Judge will inquire again everything, check everything, and pass an order. And court will order to the registering authority that please register this birth on the name of these two gentlemen and not the surrogate. That is called parental order. After parental order, again you go to appropriate authority. He will give you essentiality certificate. After essentiality certificate, the couple will have to take insurance for the surrogate, that anything will happen to the surrogate, they will take care of it, and it is for 3 years of appropriate amount which can take care of her any complications which happens within 3 years of her surrogacy. Right. And then with all this, they come to ART level 2 clinic, and level 2 clinic will transfer the embryos into the surrogate. That is the whole process.
So the Indian law has really taken care of the safety of the surrogate. The indication for surrogacy, they have made it more streamlined, and people who really genuine reasons, having genuine reasons for surrogacy, are going in for surrogacy. There is no misuse of this surrogacy services, and it is being really done for the needy.
It is divert to, yes, it is for those who are needy.
Who are absolutely needy. Yes. And they are taking care of even the rights of the child. And again, the surrogate cannot claim the child because again, the all the paperwork over here is in order. So they sort of streamlined the whole process for surrogacy.
Exactly. And many Indian women, those who were poor, they were doing surrogacy just to get money. And that commercialization, they were not even concerned about their health.
Exactly.
So the government has to think about them.
Right. So when a couple go in for surrogacy, say they are fitting into the criteria, all the paperwork is in order, and they have gone in for surrogacy. So just the important take homes about the embryo source which we are putting, that is the embryo which is going into the surrogate, it has to be at least one of the couple's gametes should be there in the embryo.
See, in simple words, you can understand both the laws like this. You to become pregnant or to have a child, you require three things: uterus, oocyte, and sperm. Out of these three, at least one should be of the couple.
Right. So a donor can also, donor egg with the husband's sperm can go in for surrogacy, or both egg and sperm of the couple can go for surrogacy, but donor egg, donor sperm cannot go for surrogacy is the take home over here.
Yes.
Right. About adoption, because now surrogacy is not easy for certain couples are not able to find an altruistic surrogate, but then they are not able to even conceive a child with, because of their problem in their uterus, or because they have failed multiple treatment cycles or had many abortions. So they are a genuine case for surrogacy, but because of the stringency of the law and it being altruistic and they don't have a surrogate, they want to think about other options. So a little bit about adoption, because I think many couples who come to us want to know about adoption. They have many myths about adoption. They don't know facts. Who is eligible? Who do they go and approach? How do they, sort of apply for adoption? And just a general process for people to know, our patients to know about the adoption process in our country.